With nothing else to do, it's time to move on to Shido's palace. The first seat is easy enough to find. The first open area has a grappling point that allows you to reach it with ease. The second one is a little more difficult as the mouse puzzles have changed somewhat from the first version. Essentially, it comes down to leaving no stone left unturned. The third can be a little easy to miss too, but at some point you'll need a letter of rec from a man who has his meals delivered straight to his room. Just keep heading upwards towards a room with an elevator and the wheel seat is off to the side. Once you've collected all of them, it's time to talk about bosses. Most of the bosses in Shido's palace represent their own challenge, but we really need to give it to Goro Akechi. Not only do you have 3 phases to beat, he comes directly after finishing another boss fight against an Ongyoki shadow. So losing to him means you might need to beat the boss before him again as well. However, with some excellent timing on Futaba's part, we seem to beat his phases down with ease, even when it gets all crazy on us. It's a simple matter of keeping the OG team stacked with buffs and delivering insane blows. This is also the social link we need to talk about. You need to make sure Akechi knows that you fully intend to keep your promise, and upon returning from the palace that evening, you'll be given 2 options to pick from. Pick the one that sounds more certain and go with remembering the promise that you two have made with each other. It serves a purpose later on, it would seem. With that out of the way, it's time for the Shido boss. At this point, it's all about controlling your buffs, debuffs, and managing status conditions. The boss isn't really too different from his first version, or at least that's what I thought until the very end, where he forces the fight to be a one-on-one match between you and him, just as it should be.
Are you all right, Joker?
I never would have imagined that impertinent brat from so long ago managing to get in my way this much. Honestly, unbelievable. I should have finished you off before this could have happened. It seems I too was naive. However, my dream has been attained. My desire to steer this country has finally come to fruition. But my ambition has only yet begun. I will not stumble over mere minutia like yourself. This time, I'll be dead certain to seal your fate. I will reduce you to nothing!
We've come so far! We have to do something! Joker, please don't lose!
Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I'm just on a new start. There's no time.
Persona! Resistance is futile! Persona! You're mine! I won't go easy! Let's go! There! Resistance is futile! It's fine! Ravage them! This can't be! Losing to a brat like him!
After beating Shido, we have some time to go straight to Mementos and fulfill the final base game requests. They go down pretty easy, and the last one can still be rendered hilariously non-threatening, as having On casting Dakaja every turn essentially stunlocks him. Now all we have to do is wait for Shido to confess his crimes, though out of context, with him muted like this, he just looks like he's in the middle of a passionate karaoke session. That aside, we get some new content with Kasumi.
Oh, Senpai! And good morning to you. It's been quite a while since we last met at school like this. Thank you for your efforts in changing Representative Shido's heart. Well, if anything, you're the one deserving all of the thanks, Senpai. We should go somewhere to celebrate. Ah, what say we go pay our first respects to the shrine? A new year's about to begin and all. But I suppose we ought to deal with exams first. I'll be in touch afterwards. Please excuse me.
Now, of course, things never seem to go in our favor, and Shido, despite confessing his crimes, is still held in favorable position by the citizens, and the Phantom Thieves are still wanted criminals. Nothing left to do except go into Mementos for a final time to get to the bottom of humanity's problem. And what we find is really creepy, and with the sheer amount of red in this dungeon, it's really hard to tell at times that I'm playing this section of the game with the filter on. I should also mention that this is your last chance to get the twins up to their max confident level, as you need to do so before reaching the boss. As for the dungeon itself, it's fairly easy to navigate. There's very little difference from the vanilla version. In fact, I completed this dungeon in half the time it took me to complete it during my second re-recorded playthrough of this dungeon. In very little time at all, the gang finds the treasure of Mementos and tries to do away with it, except the desires of humanity tell us that it ain't going anywhere, and due to Mementos fusing with the human world, the Phantom Thieves are erased from existence. Once you wake up, Igor sentences you to death, to pay for losing the game. Of course, he always intended for you to lose because he's not Igor. After the wardens recover their memories and the being pretending to be Igor politely waits for you to fuse them back together, the confident of the fool maxes out and he grants a final deal, which I promptly refuse. The real Igor is saved, and now it's time to go collect our teammates. This section is amazing, and honestly it deserves its own video. I always thought it was weird how these very important moments in this game were just unvoiced. I thought it was a really strange decision, and I'm glad that they are voiced now. Once everyone's collected, the Phantom Thieves re-emerge, and it's time to show the boss what's up. After severing its connection to mankind, we swiftly give it the boot. The Holy Grail, as it were, transforms into its true form, the God of Control. Except he has a very hard time controlling us, as our personas swiftly put an end to his reign. With the power of our confidence, our combined powers call forth a new awakening within the protagonist and summon Satanael. I was hoping to see Dr. Maruki and Kasumi somewhere here, but they are sadly absent throughout this final sequence. However, it is safe to say that we will end up seeing them soon enough. With Christmas saved, we have officially caught up to the true ending. I'll see you next time in the new semester of Persona 5 Royal.